Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final score with
Eric. How about them Cowboys saw ya?
And I'm the new elected mayor for John's Nation, Matthew Basemore.
And Stevie Reno Fly.
What's up, guys? It is Thursday night. Is it? I don't know if you're ready to say May. April 4th. It ain't April Fool's. It's April 4th. We are back with the final score. Hope you guys are having a good week this week. Work week is getting into short rows now, hopefully for most of you. We're here with the final score tonight. We're going to talk a little March Madness on the men and the women's side. A lot to talk about there. We actually had some picks wrong. It might be a time to go back in time a little bit for the men's side. Hopefully, I'm keeping my fingers crossed there. Believe it or not. Then we'll talk a little bit about a big free agent move in the NFL. Something I didn't see coming. I don't think Eric did either. And then we'll talk about who's the best football team in the state of Texas now. We'll have to ask Eric what his insight is on that. All that and a lot more coming, guys. But first of all, I got to welcome in my co-host tonight. Unfortunately, Matthew had something else he had to do tonight, so Matthew's not here with us. And what about that intro, the new intro that Matthew created for us this week? Love it. We had some fun with it, guys. Hope you guys like it. We had a lot of fun doing that. But he had to put, how about them Cowboys? How about it, Eric? How about them Cowboys? Saw ya. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Reno?
Same old, bud. Same old. How's everything going your way?
Any better, I couldn't stand it.
If it was any better, I'd be peeing perfume. Is that? I thought you were going to say that for a second. Roy Murphy.
I might start using that one.
If I was any better, I'd be peeing perfume. So yeah, this week, what the heck is going on with the weather, dude? Why is it getting cold again? I mean, I know it's just April, but still, make up your mind, good Lord. Come on, guys.
I know the pollen the other day said on the news is worst it's ever been. And like you said, you just drove through it and it'd just be a big pollen like ball right in the middle of the road.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was terrible the other day when the wind got up a little bit and it was just like a haze over everything. I was like, good gosh. And knock on wood, my allergies are holding in check right now, so I'm pretty good right now. But yeah, a lot going on in the sports world this week. First of all, I'll lead off. We didn't talk about it last week, and I'm ashamed of myself for not talking about it and getting people out there looking for it. At Northeast Academy earlier this week, they had the Sergeant Will McClawhorn Memorial Tournament. It was the 13th annual tournament over there. So if you're not familiar with that, Will McClawhorn was he went to Northeast, graduated from Northeast, lived over in a little town called Conway, North Carolina, for those of you that aren't from around here. And he was killed in action in 2000, I believe it was 2010, killed in action in Afghanistan with 5 others. And his dad knew Will's love for baseball. His dad loves baseball, Preacher Willie. Preacher Willie is a pretty special guy. He baptized me, and he did my wedding. So really close. And he was my preacher when I was a kid. So we always try to do something with that. But Preacher Willie has had some health issues this past year, and we're definitely praying for him. And he's on the mend, and it looks like everything's good. But he was not able to attend this year, which was different this year. His daughter Melanie took over, and she did a great job. But you had 4 baseball teams there. You had a Hosky Christian, you had Bethel, Ridgecroft Academy, and then Northeast Academy, the host team. But and this tournament, he gave away, just like the other night, he gave away 4 scholarships. $1,000 scholarships apiece. You know how much that means to these kids. And I'm trying to remember the name. Noah Knowles from Bethel got one. Bill Vaughn Will Revel and Grafton Williams from Ridgecroft got it, and then Dawson Van from Northeast Academy. I don't think Ahoskie Christian had any seniors that were playing at least. So, but it was a good tournament. I went to both days. I actually, if you saw my post on Facebook, made my I made my baseball announcing duties the second night in the championship game. So, and that was a crazy game, guys. I'm telling you, it was a great game to watch. Ridgecroft and Northeast in the championship game. Northeast jumps up to a little bit of a lead, and it was a low-scoring game. It was a defensive game, a pitcher's duel. Jake Parks versus Bill Vaughn for most of the game, and Northeast is up for a lot, and then Ridgecroft tied it up 3-3. And after that, it was just like they went 9 innings, guys. They went 9 innings and deadlocked a 3-3 and playing some great defense. I know both teams. I think in the bottom of the 8, Ridgecroft had the bases loaded, no outs. All they had to do was score, and it's over. And Northeast managed to play some defense and got out of it. And Ridgecroft, Northeast in the bottom of the 9th had bases loaded, and Ridgecroft got out of it. And Ridgecroft scores in the bottom of the 9th to win the game. But definitely congratulations to I think it's Billy Bridges. Is I think that's his name. Is that his name for the coach for Ridgecroft?
No, Billy Jenkins.
Billy Jenkins. I'm sorry, Billy Boy Bridges is. I'm thinking of an old coach from Northeast. But Billy Jenkins, congratulations to him and the Ridgecroft team for winning the championship this year. Northeast, don't hold your heads low. You guys played a great game. It was fun to watch for a lot of people. But yeah, that was how I spent the first part of my week, and then getting into the madness. Let's get right into it. Final Four is set. We've got a surprise, I would say, because we didn't pick them to get there. We were hoping, but first of all, let's talk about UConn takes on Illinois last Saturday night, and man, is UConn strong or what?
30-0 run. That's all I got to say.
God, I turned it over there, and it was tight. It was tight right there at the halftime, and then they start off and do that 30-0 run. I was like, game over. I was done. And UConn looked strong. I mean, a lot of people saying they look like the best team, one of the best teams to ever play. I think Bobby Hurley's brother, Danny Hurley is the coach there, defending national champions. But yeah, UConn looked really strong on Saturday night. Did you get to see much of it?
Yes, sir. Like I said, my brother-in-law, Brendan Nelson, he's a big UConn fan, so that made me start watching them a lot more. So now he's always riding me about watching UConn. I mean, it's the truth, though. The last 2 tournaments, I think, if I read it correctly, they're averaging over 20-point victories or close to it. Like every time it's over 20 points.
Yeah.
You can't, no other word than dominant. Just flat out dominant.
No doubt about it, bud. I mean, and it's hard to see. It's hard to see right now anybody being able to compete with UConn right now. That's the other 3 teams right now. I don't know about you, but they don't look like anybody's in that same league right now with them, the way they're playing. But you know what? The thing is, you got to play it on paper. You don't play it on paper. You play it on the court. So we'll see how that goes. They could have a bad game. Yes, you look back at some of the biggest upsets in at this point of the game, at this point of the tournament. I mean, you look at one year the Final Four, UNLV comes in there undefeated. Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon, Greg Anthony, they're in the semifinals game. And let me tell you what, this hits home to me really bad. And this is one of the reasons I'm not the main reason, but one of the reasons I can't pull for Duke anymore. All UNLV had to do was win that game. Didn't even have to win the national championship. They win that game, I win this like $1,000 pool. And they lost the freaking game to Duke. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So that was a big upset, of course. national championship game upset. You can't go any further without talking about NC State over Houston, the big 1983, the Cardiac Pack, and we'll get to that in just a second too. Well, why don't we just go ahead and talk about State while we're talking about that. State versus Duke. Sunday afternoon. What a way to end the freaking weekend. Okay. I'm getting to that, Bubba Rosenbaum. We talked about that last week. The impact of the bank shot. Well, look, the bank shot, the missed free throw by UVA, and then the bank shot. Keith's job was on the line. I'm hearing a lot of rumors. We talked about this last week too, that the athletic director from State, the first game, had his walking papers in his hand and probably kept them there until that tournament, to the tournament championship. When that was over, he automatically clicked into a clause in his contract where he got an extension. But yeah, the Cardiac Pack all over again. It's like 1983 all over again, 41 years later. They go up against Duke, and man, the first half, I'm like, Burns gets in a little bit of foul trouble, and he's going in and out of the game. He didn't play much that first half, and Duke just looks like they're on defense. They're flying to the ball. State didn't shoot. I mean, they couldn't hit the broadside of a ball in the first half. But going into halftime, I was like, I had a bad feeling. I was like, I'm pulling for State. Now, everybody knows I'm not pulling for Duke. But going into at halftime, I was just like, man, this Duke's going to end up going to the Final Four. We're going to have to hear about the Duke Blue Devils again, all over again. They got further and all this stuff. We got to the Final Four and all this stuff. But yeah, what was your thoughts at halftime, Eric?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I don't know what's going on, because the game against Marquette, DJ Burns, I think, only scored 6 points.
Yeah.
And, he ends that Duke game with 29 points. It's like, what the heck happened to you guy? But I want to go back to what the Rosenbaum guy said.
Yeah.
If that guy does not make that shot for State, that bank shot,
it's over.
Not only is State's going to the NIT, they're not even going to the NCAA tournament. They're not even going to the NCAA tournament if it's shot.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. If the Virginia guy makes that free throw that they got the rebound on, it's over, because a three will do you no good. It would have been a 4-point lead. That's what I'm saying. It's Cardiac Pack all over again. I mean, we're waiting for Jay Jennings to be playing Hungry Like the Wolf on WRAL like he did back in '83, and that was a good story too, because I've had Jay Jennings on the show before. He worked at Channel 5, and he was the only reporter to cover all of State's games throughout the NCAA tournament that year. And they pretty much told him when they sent him, Channel 5 sent him out there, they didn't send him out there with enough clothes, because they figured State was going home, and he had to make some kind of arrangements there. But yeah, they were like, oh, you just, and then they were like, you can just stay out there with them, and then come to where Carolina's playing when State loses. I was like, oh, really? But anyway, I don't know what Kevin Keats or what happened at halftime of that game, but State comes out a totally different team the second half. It's like role reversals. As fast as Duke was flying to the ball on defense, State was doing that on their defense now. As hot as Duke was shooting in the first half, they couldn't hit the broadside of a ball in the second half. And they weren't that great the first half, to tell you the truth. But at one time near the end of the game, I think they said that Duke had made more free throws in that game than field goals. I think it was like 17 free throws and 16 field goals. So State's defense takes it up. Horn gets hot. Burns is just playing out of this world. Nobody, and they threw 3 different people at Burns and nobody could stop. Because I watched Shire tell one of them, they had the camera on him one time. He said, "You guard Burns," and he was like, "Physical, physical." It didn't work. It didn't work. I think he was like 13 for 19 for 29 points, and that drop step he does, man.
You can't, and not only watching him is like watching, really, to me, is like watching Zach Randolph. Do you remember him?
Oh yeah, I mean Michigan State.
Yeah, old Zebo. They remember, he's always what I like about him is he's pass first. He's like somebody said the other day when they played he's not a point forward like a power. He's a point center. I mean, the ball up the top and he's looking to pass first. I mean, it's just what that dude is doing in the NCAA tournament is something you're gonna remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and I liked what he did when they got to I think when they got to Phoenix the other day. He was wearing a 1983. Well, he had David Thompson was on the shirt, and then Wittenberg and I think all them were on the shirt too. He was embracing the past. But yeah, let me tell you another thing too, and I'm gonna make some Duke fans mad right now. As much as you guys want to think Filipowski is all that and is like the next great thing, yeah, he's a talented player, but not the brightest tool in the sharpest tool in the shed by any means. Because anybody in that kind of game, if you're a key player and you're in foul trouble, you're not doing the things that Filipowski was doing to get called for those last two fouls. You're not grabbing somebody and slinging them, and he was throwing like shoulders into people. I mean, I know you want to make strong screens and stuff like that, but when you throw your shoulder into somebody like that and you're already in foul trouble, I mean, you gotta think. You gotta think. And to see him foul out, I was pretty happy to see him foul out because I think he's the next. He's the next in line for one of those. I want the crybabies over there wearing the royal blue. You hadn't had one since Grayson Allen, but I think you got one coming right now. I don't know what year is that. Is he in Filipowski anyway? You know,
this is his second season.
Yeah, so he's a sophomore.
All right, and
he shouldn't be going anywhere as far as the pros. And I don't think he's transferring out, but yeah, I wasn't impressed with him. The games that I saw him play, I wasn't that impressed with him.
I know I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but it tickles me pink when every year is Duke and Kentucky, especially Duke, every year gets probably the best recruiting class. Like this year, they got the number one guy and the number 3 guy. I mean, they got the number one recruiting class, and they have nothing to show for it, Stevie. They can't. I mean, don't get me wrong. About made it to the Final Four,
right?
But about don't matter.
Well, I could about do that. I mean, but they're sitting at home just like we are watching the national championship in the Final Four this year. So, yeah, and I talked about this before a lot, and you know the whole one and done deal is it don't work anymore. I mean, I don't know if it ever really worked. It was a flash in the pan thing with Calipari, and then somebody that, and I'm gonna say this, and like I said, I'm just gonna make you Duke fans mad tonight. I'm gonna make you where you want to. I hope I make you mad enough where you make a comment up here, and I'll argue with it till I'm blue in the face. The hypocrisy of your legend, Mike Krzyzewski. He made the comment before about doing the one and dones that was going to ruin college basketball. And what happens? Calipari and them start doing it. Who's soon to follow? And I mean, you can't help but it happening. But those two programs seem to be the one that it happens to the most. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the Zion Williamson there. Who was that other guy that Duke had was so freaking, Who? Kyrie. Yeah, Kyrie didn't even finish it. He played a half a year.
He
before
played 11.
Yeah. So stuff like that. And how do you recruit like that? How do you recruit? You can't. It's just like right now, and this is a different problem right now. But R.J. Davis at Carolina, he's got a chance. He can come back for next year because of the COVID. His class is the last class that can come back, that can have a fifth-year eligibility because of the COVID rule. So right now, he's got a decision to make. But guess what? Hubert Davis is sitting there right now like, if he's talking to a recruit or somebody in the transfer portal, he's like, okay, well, I don't know what RJ's going to do. I'll keep you posted on his decision, what he's going to do right now. But if he's out, you're definitely interested in coming. He said, well, we'll see. So, RJ Davis needs to make that decision. I hope he comes back, but we'll see about that.
Carolina got that Ian Jackson, which is a guard. I think he plays point and shooting guard. And I think he won the MVP the other night at the McDonald's All-American game.
Yeah, I did see that. Him and wasn't another one that plays. I can't remember the other recruits' names coming there. There's two of them, and they kind of led the comeback in the fourth quarter and sealed the deal for their team. So then Purdue and Tennessee. Well, first of all, hold on. I ain't through with State yet, because to see the domination in that, especially the latter part of the second half, 10 minutes on, that State would have ended up winning by 11, something like that. It was double digits, I think. I may be wrong. But to see that domination that they put on Duke, and Duke, it was 76-64. I was like, this is unbelievable. And the irony of everything that's going on with State right now, there's so many things. You go back to 1983, the regional finals, to go to the Final Four. State plays an ACC team, an ACC rival that they beat in the tournament earlier, Virginia, Ralph Sampson in Virginia. They beat them. They go to the Final Four. There's a dominant number one seed on the other side in the Final Four in Houston, the Phi Slamma Jamma, Drexler and Akeem. You got UConn on the other side over there, a dominant number one seed. So, it doesn't fall into place for State. Does the glass slipper fit? I don't know. But this is so it's so ironic, it's scary. You think about all that, the irony there, man. It's crazy.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I want State to win so bad, but I want to know, as a coach, people. The only team I've seen somebody play Burns right was Marquette, and it's the truth. When he catches the ball at the top of the key, you have to stop him. Go ahead and, like you said, try to double team him or whatever right at the top. As soon as he catches the ball, you need to just go ahead and double team him. I know he looks for the pass, but I want to know, is Purdue going to be stupid enough to take that Edey guy out the paint to try to guard Burns up top? Because, if they do that, to me, State's an easy walk to as hot as they're shooting the ball. State is an easy walk past Purdue if they do something stupid like that and let Edey pick him up at the 3-point line or something like that.
You know what? Somebody made the comment the other day. How's State going to beat Edey? He's like 7'4".
All right.
Ralph Sampson was 7'4" too. So,
all right.
I'm just saying. The Edey's big and he's impressive, but Burns can push him around, I think.
Yeah.
Burns is he's a football player too. He can play football, and he can move some people around too.
That's what these people are talking about. What would you do if you didn't play basketball? And that's what DJ Burns says. He'd play football. And I love to see him play offensive tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. I believe he could do it.
He's turned into everybody's sweetheart of the tournament right now. And I mean, I'm a Carolina fan in basketball, I'm an ECU fan in football, but and I'm not scared to say it. I'm sure some of my fellow ECU and Carolina fans will tell you. They'll probably cuss me. I'm pulling for State. I have been pulling for State. I definitely pulled for them against Duke. There was no question about that. I don't have a problem with State. I never have. I liked State back in '83. I liked him because of Valvano. And he was just somebody you would just like, what's he going to do next? What's he going to do here? And that personality of his was great too. I just enjoyed Valvano. And this team, Keats is not anywhere near Valvano personality-wise. I don't know about coaching-wise, but personality-wise, no. I don't care what anybody says. He's not anywhere close. I don't think there's many that are close to what Valvano was. But it should be interesting here with seeing what happens here. Now, UConn takes on Alabama. So Alabama unfortunately upsets Carolina, and then goes on. We had a chance to have 2 ACC teams in the Final Four. 2 chances, because if Carolina had won their game against Alabama, they would have played Clemson. So Alabama plays Clemson, and it looks like Clemson jumps out on them and gets a double-digit lead early in the first half. And after that, Alabama settled down and ends up pulling away from Clemson, unfortunately. But I'll tell you this, too. Let me get your thoughts on this, too. A lot of people, and I had my doubts, too. I'll say that for sure. We're talking about the ACC as a basketball conference was trash.
All right.
People not saying that anymore. I mean, you look at it. You had 4 teams in the Elite Eight, and you had some good teams you had a good Pitt team that probably should have made the tournament, but somehow got left out. But 4 teams in that Elite Eight, and these big powerhouses like Kentucky and all of them that we're talking about, they're sitting at home and been sitting at home. So, what do you think about the ACC now as a basketball conference?
To me, I don't know why people even joke on that, or like why would they even say that? It's the same thing as us as ACC fans. And I might start an argument now. I'd like to argue. I will say this as an ACC fan. Besides Duke, I always say that. But SEC is known for football. They will always be the dominant conference. It's none of the ACC fans to even argue that. The SEC is the best and known for football. But the ACC is basketball is ACC. I mean, why do people even argue that? Why would people even say that? That's like saying, like I said, going back to football, saying Alabama and all them, the SEC is trash. Are you crazy?
Well, I'll tell you this. Coming back from back in the heyday, like the early 80s, mid 80s, even into the 90s and 2000 era of the ACC, it's been a big change in the basketball with the conferences and stuff, because the ACC was by far the power conference in basketball for years and years, and then they kind of dwindled down a little bit to where some of them were overtaking them. But maybe this is a step in the right direction with the ACC now. Maybe they'll be back on top. So our Final Four matchups are now set. UConn versus Alabama, NC State versus Purdue. Purdue gets the win. I mean, Edey, he had 40 points.
41, yep.
16 rebounds, something like that. Yeah. I mean, he went off, his little statement after the game he said, I could go to just about every major college and say, you overlooked me to all of them. And, I mean, that's got him fired up, I'm pretty sure. But what do you think of it? I mean, let's get right down into it. What do you think about the matchup? Let's start UConn, Alabama. Your thoughts on the UConn, Alabama matchup?
I think UConn gonna walk the dog on them. If Alabama moves me along, I meant if there's any Alabama fans watching, I don't like you in football. I mean, I ain't gonna make it Final Four. Congratulations on that. But UConn is gonna walk the dog on you. The double digits. If it was a 15 to 20 point spread and I could bet on it, I probably would bet on that spread.
You ain't going on any of the FanDuel and all that stuff, are you?
I just got into it, and I'm gonna throw this up because they don't want me over $100. They don't want me some money. And
wow!
I got the pack. When we get to that one, I got the pack. Wolfpack versus UConn in the national championship.
Wow. Okay, so UConn walking the dog on Alabama. That came straight out of Eric Sawyer. Like, walking the dog.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I mean, it would have to be. That would be a monumental upset, even though, Alabama's not. I don't. What seed was Alabama anyway?
The 4.
A 4 seed. So that would still be a monumental upset to me. And here we go again. I've got Connecticut in the finals. Look, State fans, I'm gonna tell you like a friend, and I'm saying this, with pee and perfume here too. Facebook user, whoever that was, I'm gonna tell you like a friend. I didn't pick you against Marquette. You won. So guess what? I'm not going to pick you tonight. But know this. I'm pulling for you to beat Purdue. And I'm hoping by me picking Purdue to get to the finals that you guys pull off another upset and we see 1983 all over again. Because guess what? I think one of the sports writers back in '83 said when the matchup happened, State versus Houston, State's best hope is for Houston to have a bus wreck on the way to the game. So believe me, I'm pulling for you with all my heart, and I'm hoping. I don't want to jinx you. I don't want to pick you and jinx you this time. So guess what? I'm gonna pick Purdue, and hopefully it'll work out for you guys. But yeah. Hopefully, we're looking at a Wolfpack versus UConn championship game. That will be the 8th, Monday night the 8th. You know what? With my new job title, I'm off the next day, so I can stay up and watch them game. That comes on at what? Well, it starts at like 8:30, 9 o'clock.
All right. Yeah.
I don't know. Why did they do that? Why did they do the freaking game so late like that?
I don't know, especially on a Monday night. I don't.
Monday.
Yeah, I don't know. I always, it is what it is. I feel like they should have played like the night should be. You played the Final Four game tonight and let the championship be Saturday night.
Yeah. They said Eric. I don't know who this is. Who is this saying that Eric has to work? I don't know who this. Eric might be calling in on Tuesday. Eric might be calling in on Tuesday. I'll feel bad if Eric is really sick and have to call in on Tuesday. They'll say, well, he said he was going to call in because of that ball game.
Hey.
Even though I didn't see him there today. Who is this, Eric?
I had no idea.
Who is? All right, identify yourself. Anyway, so that's what we got about the men's side of the tournament. The women's side, Eric, I don't know if you watched the LSU.
I did versus Iowa
game. Oh my gosh.
Caitlin Clark lights out, bud.
Let me tell you. So the Reese girl got nothing against her. Nothing at all. I think she talks a little too much junk sometimes. She's a little dirty. But to come out there while they're warming up and they put a crown on the bench right across from where Caitlin Clark was warming up on it, so she could see it. Yeah, I mean that's for trying to play some mind games there. It didn't work. Didn't work. Caitlin Clark goes off, 41 points, gets her revenge. Everybody remembers last year when the Reese girl was doing this number and pointing at the ring finger and all that, wouldn't get out of her face. And that, some people got upset about that. I did. I mean, that ain't a problem with me because a lot of that goes on. But you know what? When they talk about the whole taunting rules, this has got to be Ashley Taylor. He said, Eric has never beat me in basketball.
Oh, my God. Shut up.
It's got to be Ashley Taylor.
Ashley, you know me. I done gained about 30 pounds since I've been at the state. I'll body you now.
Yeah.
Too small for
to see that game, I mean, that was a classic game. I don't care, women or men. That was one of the best games I've ever watched. Caitlin Clark puts on a clinic, 41 points. The Reese girl fouls out. Angel Reese, I keep saying the Reese girl. She fouls out late in the game. But, man, what a game. That's all I got to say. What a game. It was all it was. The hype for it, it was all, it lived up to the hype. I'll put it that way.
When is the game? They play UConn, so it'll be paid back.
Yeah, so that's tomorrow.
Yeah,
UConn versus Iowa. That ought to be a heck of a matchup because UConn's coach made some comments about Caitlin Clark early in the year. He's backed away from it now because he knows he's got the player. So and look on the other side. Wolfpack represented on the other side. NC State's ladies taking on South Carolina. Wow. That's going to be a tough deal right there. South Carolina is undefeated. Yeah, the women, I'll say this, and people were talking about, but the women are just as entertaining as the men this year.
I agree.
And did we talk about Caitlin Clark getting offered
$5 million to be with the Big Three?
Big Three, and she can still play WNBA. Ice Cube better. But yeah, if I'm gonna pick UConn and Iowa, I'm going Caitlin Clark.
I mean, you'd be stupid not to. What's she at 9 threes though? I mean, that girl is. Woo,
she was throwing them up. Look, and I'm gonna throw some shade here. I thought Ashley Taylor would shoot from anywhere, but this girl would shoot from anywhere. She makes hers. She makes hers. Ashley don't make his. That's what.
Ashley, I hope you're watching. Ashley always said, if you pass the ball to me, don't look for it back.
Yeah, just look. Whenever me and Ashley play together, if I throw the ball to him, I go straight under the basket because I know the ball's getting ready to come up there, right there. And that flat shot, too, boy, it's going to be like a line drive, boy. Yeah, I'm just messing, Ashley. I'm just messing. I've seen Ashley make a lot of shots.
Yeah, when he's on now. I ain't going to say.
He gets that hot streak going, he's on. But anyway, yeah, and NC State, South Carolina, man, whew, that's going to be a tough task for the Wolfpack right there. I mean, the South Carolina, I think, it wasn't LSU. It was somebody at the SEC tournament that came close to beating them. South Carolina had to hit a three-pointer with time running out to win the game. I can't remember. It wasn't LSU. Was it Tennessee? May have been Tennessee.
Oh, I think it was.
Yeah, may have been Tennessee. But anyway, I'm picking South Carolina. I think it's going to be South Carolina, Iowa. And that's the way it should be, really, if you look at it. The teams most people have talked about, April. So they're playing on a Friday night. I guess they're going to play Sunday night. The championship is going to be Sunday, the 7th. So I already seen LSU. Gosh, I hope I don't butcher her name. Van Lith, the little point guard.
All right.
Little spunky girl. She's entered the transfer portal. So
she just transferred to LSU
from Louisville. Yeah. And see, that's what I don't like. That's why I hate this transfer portal. because guess what? You can go wherever you want to, just leave whenever you want to, and I'll just go. I don't like it here anymore. Or the team next year, the team ain't gonna look as good as what I think they should be. I'm gonna go somewhere else. It's just like if an NFL player was eligible for free agency every year. You know what I mean?
And then get to pick where you want to go.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I mean, I don't like. I see where, but it's part of the game now.
Well, I was watching the other day. I was sitting there scrolling through my phone on Instagram, and DJ Ugalele, the quarterback, well, he used to be for Clemson. I couldn't even keep up with him. Now he's in Florida State. I was like, I mean, how many teams is he gonna play for, buddy?
I don't know. I don't know.
Florida State this year.
I'm not up on the rules of how many times you can go. I don't know if there's a cap on Bubba. If you're out there listening, is there a cap on how many times you can transfer in the transfer portal? So I don't know if Bubba, if you're listening, Bubba is up on all this stuff. He knows this stuff. So I know if anybody would know, Bubba would know.
I don't think it is because who was it? Was it Jake Fromm, the quarterback? I think he went to like 5 different schools.
I think this is, I don't know if this is Ashley or not. Somebody, y'all let me know who it is. Yeah, I believe that's what I'm getting at. There should be a limit. You shouldn't have free reign to transfer as many times you want to.
You get one. That's what
yeah,
it should.
Get one chance. Get one chance. Of course, now the Angel Reese declares for the WNBA draft now, so that's probably got a lot to do with why the Van Lith girl is leaving. But LSU will reload. Kim Mulkey, as much as I'm just not a fan of hers, but man, she can get some players in there. That's for sure.
She's a good coach. I'm like you. I don't agree with everything, but she is a good coach.
Yeah, she is. She is. So, moving to the NFL world, and man, big news. I had to text Eric yesterday about this. Diggs going to Houston from Buffalo. And I mean, what was it like? I'm trying to remember what they got for him.
They gave Buffalo, all Buffalo got was a 2nd round pick, and Houston gets Stephon Diggs, a 5th round pick, and a 6th round pick. And I'm like,
that make it
on Buffalo.
I mean, every year, yeah, Texans acquired Diggs as well as a 2024 6th round pick, 2025 5th round pick in exchange for a 2025 2nd round choice. I know every year for the last 3 years he's came out after the season was over. Of course, it didn't end like he wanted to, acting like he doesn't want to be at Buffalo anymore. So this year he did it again. Wasn't anything unusual about that. I was like, okay, whatever. But to see this, Eric, question: who's the best NFL team in the state of Texas now?
I'm gonna tell you one thing. Apparently, Jerry Jones, the owner of Houston, because daggone the Dane went all in. And I got asked that question the other day. And now that Diggs is there, I got to give it to C.J. Stroud. Last year, I thought they were going to be just like the Panthers were. And that guy, C.J. Stroud, just have a struggling year. I hate to say it, Texans really they ain't got nobody really attract you over there.
Right, yeah.
Stroud goes there, turns that team around. They go to the playoffs. And now, you're an attraction. Roster-wise, I'm not afraid to say the Houston Texans have a better football team than the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Roster-wise.
Look at all the weapons they got. They're putting around Stroud now. You got Tank Dell, you got Diggs, you got Mixon in the backfield now. Just to name a few of them.
Right.
And the coach, the comments coming in right now, better coach as well. Better coach in Houston than in Dallas. I agree. Eddie, look, and that's another comment that came in that I was getting ready to talk about. Houston not only did got Diggs, but then they wiped his contract. They added money to this year and removed the next 3 years of his contract. So he's a free agent next year. So they gave him a bonus, they gave him a raise. So I mean, so he's pretty much going to be in his contract year now. He can go to free agency next year, which means they can. He's probably going to play harder, just like you talked about a little bit before we went on the air. He's probably going to play harder being that contract year. So all the other teams, his stock will go even higher. He'll get more money.
Oh yeah, I'm calling now before the season even starts. He's going to be easily an 1,000-yard receiver, no doubt.
I think so. Unless the only thing that if I was a Houston fan that I would be worried is the sophomore slump. C.J. Stroud, some of these quarterbacks hit that sophomore slump.
Right.
But man, on paper right now,
they're tough.
They look tough. I was just floored when I saw that he was coming. That's a good question. What happens in Buffalo now? What do you think about Buffalo now?
I mean, who did they got? Was it Curtis Samuel, Mac Hollins? Who's the? They got another receiver.
I might have to look at the depth chart.
But at Buffalo Bills, I was sitting there looking at a mock draft yesterday on Sports Center. It wouldn't surprise me if Buffalo doesn't move up in the draft or do something or stay where they at. I don't know what pick they got. I don't know what Buffalo's got. But I do, if I had to do a mock draft now, I see Xavier Worthy that got it, broke the 40 record. I see him going to Buffalo.
All right. Here's your wide receivers now. Khalil Shaker, Curtis Samuel, Mac Hollins. That's the starters.
Dang.
So Curtis Samuel's a veteran. I'm not sure. The other two, I've heard the names, but I'm not.
Mac Hollins played at Carolina.
And then the backups, Justin Shorter, Andy Isabella, KJ Hamler, Tyrell Shavers, Brian Thompson. That's not the best wide receiver room in football right there, guys. And Josh Allen is sitting there like, okay, what the heck just happened? So, yeah, I think Buffalo, you might see Buffalo try to move up and get a wide receiver. Excuse me. But I don't know how far they could go up because, they're going to be, let me see the draft order here. Better than somebody said better than Panthers, I guess. Well, we'll see. Never know.
Well, the Panthers, they got Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen. Well, didn't they get a tight end?
Who?
Didn't the Panthers get a tight end? Who did they get? God almighty.
I can't remember who it was.
I have to search that because that's killing me now.
They picked up some people, but I don't know if.
I would say this Panthers fans right now, that's a better receiving room than the Buffalo Bills got.
Oh yeah, definitely. So Buffalo's pick is 28th. So they're gonna have to give up. They're gonna have to give up something big time to move up as far as they need. Well, I don't know. I mean, Pittsburgh has a habit of drafting wide receivers late, and they turn out pretty good. Let me see. Carolina Panthers depth chart. Let's see what we got here.
I have seen something like these Buffalo Bill fans saying, please go all in and go up to get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, I don't think they picked up a tight end, but not unless the starting tight end's name is Tommy Tremble.
No, I swear I thought they picked up a team. Must have been another team. I thought it was the Panthers.
Deontay Johnson and Adam Thielen and Jonathan Mingo at wide receivers.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
Mingo.
a better wide receiver room than Buffalo right now. So, I mean, Josh Allen. I mean, this has been the guy that everybody's talked about over the years. Like, this is going to be Buffalo's year. This is going to be Buffalo's year. I got news for you right now, guys. I don't think this is going to be Buffalo's year this year unless something strange happens. I'm not looking for Buffalo to be. Look, they might not even win. I mean, I know they didn't win a division this year, but they might not win it again this year. They might not. I mean, I think it's pretty reasonable to say they might not make the playoffs unless something changes. Because I mean, you can't put it all on Josh Allen.
All right.
There's no weapons out there. You know, you lost Gabe Davis left. Now Diggs is left. I mean, there's no weapons there right now. I mean, nothing that really strikes fear in the heart of a defense right now.
Yeah, Miami is the best team in that division.
Yeah. So we got the draft coming up soon. What do you think? Look, Paper MVP moves again, boy. Paper MVP has moved again, and maybe he'll get a Super Bowl ring now. We'll see. But Carson Wentz is signed with the Chiefs, the backup quarterback for the Chiefs. So maybe somehow, some way, he's gonna get that ring. But he probably, you know what? Chiefs fans, that ain't a good thing for you. If he did get a Super Bowl. I guess he did get the Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
That year because he played most of the season. Report: Cowboys Elliott open to reunion. I think we talked about that a little bit last week. You're up for that, ain't you, Eric?
Yeah, I want Dallas to get him back. Not saying Cowboys fans as a starter. But right now, that's what Jerry Jones is going to have to do. That's what he's going to have to do. But I think Dallas should get Zeke Elliott back. Like I said, you're already paying him $6 million. You might as well take him back. Take Zeke back. And then draft you a rookie running back. Or, I don't know. People might joke around. Take Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn. Somebody show him something. Or I really think Dallas is going – I'm going to guess they're going to go running back either first or second round.
I would say it'd probably be second round. I mean, let's, matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, we're going to go through. I saw Zeke live in MetLife last year. He didn't look bad, which was impressive on that roster. Who was that?
Buddy last year went in.
Okay, that's Buddy. Okay.
And I think I ain't gonna say Zeke obviously does not have the speed no more. I do feel like he still has the drive, and Dallas missed him a lot last year. And pass blocking. Pollard cannot pass block like Zeke could, especially. But that 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, you knew where Dallas was gonna try to pass the ball. Well, Dallas line was good enough to let's put a big back in there and run it down the throat. And they took that white guy, was it Hunter Lukey?
Yeah.
Pretty good, but he would fumble the ball and they kind of knew when he went in, like, all right, if Dallas is going to run it, they're going to try to Dallas is going to try to run it down, down our throat, which with Zeke, you still could have went, with the pass. I see somebody said, yes.
Yeah.
I do see Dallas going. If Dallas can get Blake Corum, please come to Dallas. With him and Zeke, Dallas, I feel confident with Dallas.
All right. So what I'm going to do here before we get off here real quick, WalterFootball.com, they do mock drafts. They update it like every other day. They update it. So this was updated day before yesterday, the 2nd. First pick, the Bears take Caleb Williams, which, I'm pretty sure that's going to happen.
It'd be stupid not to.
Second pick, the Commanders take Drake May. I'm not too sure about that.
I think they're gonna take Daniels.
Third pick, the Patriots take Jaden Daniels.
I see that vice versa.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I can see maybe falling a little bit further down. Arizona Cardinals take Malik Neighbors, wide receiver from LSU.
Hmm.
And that thing just skipped ahead, way ahead. I didn't mean to do that. Make up your mind, man. Chargers, Marvin Harrison Jr. That would be a good weapon for Herbert to get. And I think that's definitely it's going to be a wide receiver for sure for the Chargers. They don't have any choice. I mean, you don't have any wide receivers there anymore.
I think they're worse than Buffalo.
Yeah, they got a worse wide receiver than Buffalo. The Vikings take J.J. McCarthy from quarterback from Michigan.
I don't
What?
I don't see it.
I don't see it either, but somebody is seeing something because he's all around. These people are all these teams are talking about him some. I've even heard the Commanders one time talking about some interest in him. Titans, Joe Alt, tackle from Notre Dame. Falcons, Dallas Turner, linebacker from Alabama. The Bears get Brock Bowers. I think that kid's gonna be special if he can stay healthy. That's gonna be a good tight end right there. This thing has got so many freaking videos going on it. Jets take Rome Odunze. I probably butchered that name. Wide receiver from Washington.
Yeah.
Giants, J.C. Latham, tackle from Alabama.
I said it with Matthew up here, and Bud, if you still watching, Giants better draft everybody offensive line.
This is Buddy right here. I hope Washington drafts J.J. McCarthy and Giants trade the 4 for Daniels, or we get Odunze or Neighbors. So he wants a wide receiver.
I feel like, Buddy, I mean, if you could go up there and trade to get that pick or whatever, I would try to get Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, how tall is Marvin? I mean, he looks better than his daddy. I mean, his daddy was a stud. I mean, that Marvin Harrison Jr., I've been watching football as long as I can remember, since I was 9, 10 years old. That's over 20 years. He's one of the best college receivers I've ever seen come out to the draft.
Yeah. Broncos take Bo Nix, the quarterback from Oregon. And I'm going to butcher this name for sure right here, so don't even get me started on this. Raiders take Olamayiwa Fashanu, offensive tackle from Penn State. So
You said it better than I probably would have said it.
sorry, guy, if I butchered your name, if you're out there watching. This thing. Saints, Jared Verse, defensive end from Florida State. Colts, Terry Arnold, cornerback from Alabama. Seahawks take Troy Fautanu. And this thing, I'm telling you, this computer's got a mind of its own right now. It goes back and forth. Fautanu, guard from University of Washington. So let me click on to see 17 through 32 so we can find out who them Cowboys, they got them Cowboys picking.
They probably got them picking the offensive line, which we need one of those too.
Jaguars, they got them taking Nate Wiggins, cornerback from Clemson.
You said the Jaguars taking him?
Uh-huh.
I like Nate Wiggins. I think he's a good corner.
Bengals get Talles Fuaga, offensive tackle from Oregon State. I wonder if I get any of these names halfway right. Rams taking Byron Murphy, defensive tackle from Texas, which they're going to need. Yeah, they want him to replace Aaron Donald.
All right.
Steelers. And I hope this happens. Really, I do hope this happens. Jackson Powers Johnson, center from Oregon. We need a center. And we need a good one. So we'll see how that goes. They just want me to butcher more names up here. Dolphins. Latu, defensive end from UCLA.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's the guy from UCLA.
Yeah. Eagles, Kamari Lassiter, cornerback from Georgia.
Yeah, Philadelphia loves drafting Georgia guys, which ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with it here lately. Giants, New York Giants. Chris Jenkins, defensive tackle, Michigan. Let's see. Dallas Cowboys. All right, hold on. Let's put buddies. The quarterback I want is Daniels. He's not following 6, so that's why I said trade up. If we stick at 6, I don't see Harrison Jr. being there. So I go Neighbors or Doozy and draft a guard in the second. I think Elewander will play right tackle with us over Neal this year. I got you, buddy.
Buddy, I'm gonna tell you one thing. If you had to get a quarterback, you probably need to get Daniels because you're gonna need somebody that can run out the pocket.
Look, I think Buddy might take Matthew's job as newly appointed mayor of Giants Nation. Cowboys, who you think? What position you think they got?
I'm going. They're going offensive tackle. They got to fill Tyron Smith's spot. Who they put up there?
Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver, LSU.
What the heck?
You got upset like they really picked him. What the hell?
I mean, wrong. Dallas. I mean, who's to say we? I wouldn't draft receiver today. I mean, you need help.
I agree.
And you need. I'd say it again. We'll say it every time. You need if you're not gonna get Zeke, you're gonna need a running back.
Yeah.
And that's when I would, like Buddy said earlier, I would take Blake Corn.
Then we got Green Bay taking the best name of the draft of the first round so far, Kool-Aid McKinstry, quarterback from Alabama. And now my freaking thing wants to lock up.
Wonder what his mom.
Buccaneers taking Amarius Mims. That's a offensive lineman from Georgia. 27th. Jeez. This website, let me tell you guys, this website, when you click ahead, it'll take, sometimes you get some minus on it, and it clicks way ahead. 27th pick, the Cardinals take Quinion Mitchell, quarterback from Toledo. Buffalo. Daggum right. They have to take one of these. Adonai Mitchell, wide receiver from Texas. And then the Lions, like I said, it's doing its own thing here, guys, so bear with me. Buddies, I'm sure that like Dallas, the Giants did sign a few free agents this year. Our line isn't great, but it is improved. He's telling the truth there, bud. Y'all didn't sign many.
I agree with my cousin.
Lions take, gosh, no, come up here. Cooper DeJean, safety from Iowa. And number 30, them freaking Ravens take Tyler Guyton, offensive tackle from Oklahoma. 49ers, 31, take Jordan Morgan, a tackle from Arizona. And then, let's see what.
Can I guess the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, you can guess it.
They're going to draft Xavier Worthy.
Come
on.
Another butchered name. Kingsley Sumasha, offensive tackle from BYU. So, and if I go to I want to see where Worthy goes. If he goes, because
I don't see him going out the second round. I hate to say.
I guess it just depends on what everybody needs or something. But I'm surprised to see him not in the first round. And look, if you want to check this website out, guys, it's WashingtonFootball.com. They do mock drafts all the time, and they don't do just the first round. They do 7 rounds, and this guy updates it like every other day. But yeah, it's one I go to just to get an idea of what's going on there. We'll have our mock draft later this month, probably about a couple more weeks. We need to do it. But
25th.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on I think it's still on a Thursday. I think it still starts on a Thursday. But where is it at this year?
That's a good question.
Is it Vegas?
I think was it Vegas last year?
Let me see. Yeah, buddy, you're right. Very, very wide receiver heavy draft this year. So, yeah, a lot of people could be waiting to the second round. Detroit, Michigan.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Any last words, Eric?
No, sir. I'm ready to do the. I've been trying to study a little bit on the mock draft. I'm ready to see us. Like you said, maybe we get Gaddis up here, Matthew and Buddy and all these guys can chime in and see who's gonna get in the draft.
Yeah, you guys feel when we do our mock draft, share what you think your first round. We only do the first round, so just share what your share what your thoughts are on the first round draft. Somebody said, I think it was Buddy, don't drink any water at the draft. I know what he's saying. Anyway, hey, last words for me, guys. You guys have a great rest of your week. I mean, it's hopefully I'm thinking it's supposed to warm back up over the weekend a little bit. It won't be so bad like it is right now. Gosh, no, I went out there a while ago to wind like to knock me down. But and I mean I'm a smaller guy, but I ain't that small. Anyway. All right, you guys have a good weekend. Hey, guess what? You guys make sure you tune in this weekend. I don't know about Saturday night, but Sunday night I may be doing the on the Triple Threat main event, maybe doing a WrestleMania watch along with The Rock. You smell what The Rock's cooking. I don't. You smell what The Rock's baking, but WrestleMania 40 this weekend, 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday night. Saturday, I know I got to work. Sunday morning, I know they go now. And being 2 nights, they still do like 4 hours every night, and they don't start till like 8 o'clock. So I know Saturday night I won't be up for the whole thing, but Sunday night I may be here doing what we may have some guests pop in from time to time, but you guys make sure you keep your eyes and your ears open and feel free to tell me what you think about WrestleMania. But be sure to check us out there. Check out our YouTube page where you can find all the past episodes of the Final Score. You can check out On the Fly. We've got our YouTube page there too. Just be sure to subscribe and to give us a 5-star review because Eric really wants you to give him a 5-star review. He thinks he's
Double 5.
Double 5. It doesn't cost you anything, guys. It doesn't cost you a cent. All you got to do is right. Even if you just say it out there, you don't have to get into it too much. Just give us a 5-star and say, I like this show. You don't have to get all, but if you want to get like, I really like, Eric's choice of backgrounds or something like that, you'll be lying, but anyway.
It will be lying.
Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the Final Score tonight. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the Final Four weekend. Thank you, Buddy. Thank you, Bubba. Buddy and Bubba. Ashley, appreciate you guys chiming in. All you guys out there in the, I guess I can, some people still call it Twitter sphere. The Twitter sphere or X sphere, whatever you want to call it now. Thank you guys for being out there watching. You guys need to chime in and let us know you're there. But we will see you next time on the Final Score.
He's up.